So I get out there, naturally, I crash. Drifting is one of those things that's almost a necessity if you want to be known at being good at driving. At this point in time, drifting has exploded so much that it's kind of a given that you need to learn how to have that car control in order to do anything else. Drifting helps circuit racing, and circuit racing helps drifting because you can get your lines, your apexes, all that correct. Only thing is I just didn't have enough seat time drifting. In 2016, I was in Los Angeles and I was at Hoonigan in Long Beach, and they were doing this Toys for Tots event. And there's this tall Australian guy, basically straight off the boat with a ute. And I had never seen a Holden ute before, but it was a FD or Formula Drift prepped Holden ute. I was like, that's amazing. I want to talk to this guy. And we're standing there and he's like, you're definitely not from LA. I was like, no, I'm not. And he goes, neither am I. You want to be friends? And that's basically the nutshell story of how me and Josh Robinson met. Josh Robinson, incredibly good Formula Drift driver, and we've stayed in touch ever since. I ran into him the next time a few years later in Saudi Arabia. And so we went there for this basically global auto salon, a SEMA-like thing they try to do in Saudi. Logistically, it was a nightmare for a lot of people, but Josh runs a thing called Texas Drift Academy where he teaches people how to drift, and he sent a few of his cars all the way over there in the Middle East. And we're hanging out, having a good time, and I'm riding with him, doing some ride-alongs, filming him drifting over there. And he goes, hey, I'm doing this thing in Minnesota. I know it sounds crazy, but Frederick Osbo ice drifts in Norway, and I got to know it there. And now I want to do ice drifting. So I know you've struggled getting the fundamentals of drifting in your system and being consistent. So I think you should come up to Minnesota, out of all the places in the world, come up to Minnesota and drive on some frozen lakes. And I'm like, this sounds interesting, but I wonder how that's going to work. Does ice really translate to pavement? Because that's mostly where you do your drifting. In Atlanta, you usually do it at Lanier Speedway or at Road Atlanta. So hop on a plane, fly all the way to Minneapolis, get on a shuttle and go all the way more north into Minnesota to an area called Pine City. In that general area, the lake is as frozen as can be. It's February, it's freezing. We're layered up as heavy as you gotta be. So I get up there and I walk into the shop, and the tires on these cars are the same ones that they use in World Rallycross during all the snow driving. So I'm like, okay, so we have really good equipment here. We're using Nissan 350Z HRs. I know these cars very well, but how am I gonna do? So basically, Josh, during this entire time, I was up there for 4 days. Day one happens and he goes, okay, get in the car and just try it. No instruction, no anything. Never rode with me in the car. So I get out there, naturally, I crash. And I hit basically these snow barriers that were made. Every morning, we went to a guy with a snowplow, drew a racetrack and said, make this for us. And he goes, sure, give me an hour. So even maybe sometimes faster. So we'd hang out in a little restaurant that's on the edge of the lake, eat our breakfast or our lunch, and just watch him make a racetrack for us. Pretty much motorsport heaven, where you can do anything you want without getting in trouble. Basically, we go out there, we hit barriers, and we have these tow straps in each of the 350Zs in these hatches. That way, one Z can just pull out another one when we get stuck in the snow, because it's going to happen. When you start getting that upper skill level, you try more intense things. But since you're in ice and snow, it's not as bad as you hit a concrete barrier or something like that. So your confidence is way higher to just try it and try new things. Day one, I can basically power slide, get the car sideways, maintain the slide, exit the slide. My problem was good initiation. I was powering into it. I still hadn't gotten the muscle memory of clutching in, pulling the e-brake, turning the wheel, getting that perfect lineup to add the power into the car. Do you get a smooth transition sideways? So I was kind of manhandling it, throwing into the corner as deep as I could and basically nailing it and kind of feeling out where the car liked it. The benefit of these studded tires is that the more wheel speed you have, the more grip you have. So if you're in a bad situation, you just floor it. So you floor it, what happens is the wheels dig into the ice more, and you get more grip because it's chunking into that ice and pushing you forward. So if you see a wall, you're going towards a wall, just boom, lay into it. And usually, if you didn't totally screw up, it just pushes you away from the wall. So knowing that also helps your confidence. Day 2, get out there again, draw a new racetrack, get a new racetrack made. Get on out there. Josh is like, okay, just keep trying. You're doing good. You're just getting your fundamentals down. It's all good. But I think you're going to get it today. I get out there and I spend about 8 hours of seat time in this thing, just going lap after lap after lap, only braking to refill the car and also get lunch. Those are the only times. And the benefit of this is that you're not wearing out tires. You're so limited on seat time drifting because if you do it wrong, especially if you drift wrong, sometimes you'll, pull the tire off the wheel or debeat it, or too much entry too fast if you don't know what you're doing. It'll just kind of hop along rather than gaining grip and turning in. Therefore, you can just hop in and keep trying it with almost no consequences. So, I screwed up here. And then finally you get that light bulb moment where you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And then after that moment, I started to enter more smoothly and exit. And then Josh was watching me and goes, I'm not going to tell him, but I'm going to start coming up on him. So I enter in this big wide corner and I transition and I let the wheel, transition through my hands. Drifting, you never cross your hands, really. You're not supposed to, because that just kind of makes it a mess. You just end up crossing and making mistakes. So basically, the less effort you put in, typically the smoother your drift is. So I'm starting to get the hang of just relax. The more you just relax, the better line you'll get and the better drift you get. So once I kind of chilled out, figuratively and literally, that's when I started making progress. Just relax and just have fun. Just feed it through your hands. Let it swing back. As I'm having this light bulb moment, I hear a VQ motor right on my ear, and I look over and Josh is forcibly tandeming with me. Basically baptism by fire. Just like, guess what? Better not screw up, because I'm gonna hit you if you do. And that was the best thing Josh could have ever done for me. At the time, I was like, I'm not ready for this. I don't wanna do this yet. But he pushed me in a positive way, that it was in like a supportive way, but it's like when you're a kid and you don't want to jump off the diving board, right? You have to have somebody almost like push you off that first time around. That was Josh pushing me off the ledge or off the cliff. As we started doing that, the tandems were kind of sloppy. He held back just to give me the room to screw up in case I screwed up. He had the room to either tow me out if I messed up or just in case I spun out. Day 3 comes along. I'm confident, I'm ready, and we end up drawing a brand new racetrack. It was the best one we had. It just worked. The drift track we drew had perfect corners for learning and for getting more advanced. So Josh goes, guess what? First thing you're doing today is tandeming. No warming up. I'm going to be on your door all day long. And some of the craziest drone footage I've ever seen of me driving. We hired this local guy, incredible drone pilot. And essentially, when I go over the footage, I'm like, I'm drifting. I'm actually drifting. Because every other time I tried to drift, it was sloppy. Sure, I got tire smoke or whatever. It just wasn't pretty. I was just getting the car sideways and almost kind of getting away with it, rather than actually having the ability to be in control. I felt as though I was now in control. And if I spun out, it's because I was trying something new. I was trying to reverse entry my first time, or I was trying to do a 360 or something bananas. And so Josh is like, dude, you're ready. Let's do some more high-speed cornering. And then we're doing 3-car tandems by the end of the day. So we have 3 going like this. I tried to follow Josh one time and also his friend Brent one time. And the benefit of doing ice drifting along with the snow is that it simulates Formula Drift type smoke from the tires. So it basically shoots the snow off in a way that tire smoke is simulated, kind of has that float where it lingers. It doesn't just shoot off. So my first time tandeming behind somebody did not go very well. And I was, I kind of not admitted defeat, but I was like, I'm just not ready for this yet. Do you mind if I just lead? And that was the right thing to do, because I could just focus on the driving and not worry about hitting somebody. When that is in your head, that makes your driving 10 times worse if you're just not used to it yet. So Josh would kind of tease me on the tandems. He would kind of test my confidence levels, and where he would kind of back off and then lunge forward and get the nose maybe this close to my door, then back off, then lunge forward to see if I could handle the pressure. By day 4, got in the car, never stressed about anything. I just enjoyed it. And it's maybe my favorite motorsport thing I've ever done. I asked Josh, I get out, I go, how did I do? He goes, dude, you progressed great. Just more seat time, that's what you need. But your progress has been very good. So I feel pretty good on my high horse. I'm like, I drifted. I actually drifted. Maybe people won't understand it because, driving on ice, that sounds like you're just kind of hooning around and not actually drifting. You're just kind of sliding around and losing traction. But the fact is, we had traction because of these tires. So it simulated pavement very well. So a few months go by and I'm eager to get back in the car, but I just didn't have time for it or anything. He goes, hey, come down to Austin, Texas, where the actual Drift Academy is, and we'll do some fun stuff. We get there, we're teaching a heart surgeon how to drift, and we taught Tim Duncan's brother how to drift. So being in San Antonio, it was hot, the pavement's cooking us. Finally, I'm like, all right, how does this ice drifting translate to the pavement? And it's not exactly the same, but the muscle memory translation was almost identical. And anything that I needed to fix, Josh would just give me the advice and be like, hey, change this much, change your e-brake this much. It's this much different from ice. Ice, you can kind of get away with stuff sometimes. You can swing the car back around and kind of do it for you. With throttle on pavement, you kind of give it that 25-30% to keep it initiated during like a manji where you're swerving back and forth. So I get the hang of pavement and I feel pretty good. The only ones I really struggled with were the really difficult high-speed corners of just maintaining that slide all the way around. But I'll never forget, on that last day of ice drifting, I entered at about 60 or 70 on one of the corners. And I was like, I held it, I did it, and I didn't freak out, and I was confident, and I just was smiling the entire time. And by the end of the day, on day 4, before I had to get on my flight and fly home, I was waving at Josh while tandeming with him on one of the corners. The fact that I went from just crashing, being paranoid, being nervous, all the way to we're just having a good time, laughing, smiling. Laughing and smiling while doing a manji at like 40 or 50, and having a full-on conversation with friends in the passenger seat. That is the power of instruction, listening to your instructor, and also just time. That's all I needed was time. And at the end of the day, ice drifting is still my favorite motorsport thing I've ever done, and it's the most underrated thing I think I've ever done.
We'd like to thank AvalonKing for their continued support of the VINwiki YouTube channel. From crazy projects like Casey's King Zero to shooting derelict AMG cars off of a cliff in Alaska, they're interested in a whole lot more with respect to the automotive hobby than just making our cars look great. But the ceramic coating is awesome, and you can get it for $25 off at the link in the description below. So be sure to check it out, try it on your car, let us know what you think in the comments, and let them continue to support idiots like us.